And we're live. Hello and welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live with Paul and Jenny from Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghost, Luke, one of our investigators, and our very, very, very nervous and special guest, Cindell, is a third generation witch, which is going to blow our minds with her story into the witch world. And also Cindell has a paranormal group called PIT, Paranormal Investigation Team. So welcome, Cindell, to Monday Night Paranormal Live. So good. So don't be all nervous. You know, nobody's watching. It's just us four now. So welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live with myself, Paul and Jenny, Angela there. We had no investigation this weekend, so it's quiet. But next weekend we're out. Marley House in Wimborne next Saturday. So we'll come to that a bit later on in the live. So what we'll do, we'll go over to Cindell and she's going to talk through some of her witch stuff and how she got there and what she's done. So if you have any comments or questions, please send them in. We'll put them on the screen and we'll try and get Cindell to answer them. If you're watching, Cindell's asked that she will not give any information on spells. So please do not ask her to cast you a spell because that's not fair on Cindell. If you need to learn that, go online or find a witch, or maybe you could contact Cindell privately after or whenever, but she won't be going into spells in the live because it's not fair on her and it's not the right thing to do on this. So we'll get that out of the way. So that takes a little bit of pressure off Cindell. So any other questions you have for her, ask me, Luke, Angela, any one of the four of us. Remember, Cindell has a paranormal group as well. So if you need to ask her a question about her paranormal group, please do. Come on here and ask the question. So what we'll do, we'll go to Cindell. We'll ask her the first question. So she's going to give us a brief history into the witches and the witchcraft, the famous witches. So bear with us. She's very, very nervous. Very, very nervous. So please bear with us. And I'm sure she's going to do brilliantly tonight. So Cindell, over to you. So how did you get into the witches?
Right. Well, let's start off. I'm third generation witch. So third generation witch means my nan was actually a witch and I was born into this in the sense of, so my mum practiced as a young girl. When she fell pregnant with me and she had children, she stopped practicing, but my nan still practiced. So I learned a lot from her. And when I say witch, I don't mean like, hoodoo spells and all of this. We mean we take notice of nature and the moon cycles and stuff like that. We have remedies for stuff. And I'll bring it into it. So the basics of witchcraft it's spiritual practice, basically. It involves working with natural energies, herbs, crystals, the rituals to bring out positive changes in your life. It's not all of that darkness. It's a diverse and personal path that we all take on. Some of us use covens. Me, myself, I'm a lone witch. So we don't do covens. We do practicing alone. And I take a lot of my spells from here, there, and everywhere. So it's more like healing, protection, self-growth, the positive side of the spiritual practice for a lot of us. One thing I will recommend, if you do want to go down that path, everybody has the ability to be a witch or a warlock, female, male. You got to learn and research, read books, join reputable websites, connect with people, the experience, like practitioners. And I say practitioners because sometimes I don't want to go, oh, I'm a witch, It's that kind of thing. You've got to gather tools. You've got the stuff like candles, herbs, crystals, and even old ruin signs. Old ruins, they help. They help in it, a lot of it. And I noticed on one of your live talks, when I couldn't make this talk because I was rough.
Yes.
and all of that, and then you went on to talk about the castle that we just done.
Okay. Yeah.
I was so ill, so ill,
Yeah.
and I got affected, but it was paranormal, spiritual, whatever you want. I do protect myself, but it happens. It happens, guys.
Yeah.
But with witchcraft, it's about like nature, not evil, and that's where we get hung up. A lot of people go, "Oh, witchcraft is evil." It's not. It's about nature. It's taking that natural remedy from the earth. We have the moon cycles, we have seasons, we have earth, air, fire, water. Everything around us is just vibrating with magic, and we can all use it. Now, here's the trick, right, guys? You've got to believe. It's all about intention. There is no one way to being a witch. Some people follow Wicca, and it's like a religion. Wicca, like, it's a religion in witchcraft. I don't personally follow that because I'm not religious. I do my own thing. But it's all about what you call yourself, where you want to go. Do you want to be part of Earth? Do you want to be a kitchen witch where you're doing tinctures, which are for health? Do you want to be a hedge witch, which is basically gathering forestry, like your berries and stuff like that, and
All right. Yeah.
it all has a part of it. Where do you want to go? I use all sorts. Take, like I say, every little bit, and I use it. Now, a lot of the people today, they go, do I want to be in a community of it where I share it, or do I want to go on my own? That is down to you, really. You can join covens or you can go as your own. There's so many online groups that you can join if you want to be part of something, or if you want to go at your own and experience it. It's all about your intention and how you believe the spell is going to work. So,
That's interesting. So, do you feel you're very connected with Mother Earth then, Cindell?
me personally, because I am an earth witch,
Right.
yes, I do. Whenever I get a chance, those shoes and socks come off, and I am grounded. And like, you'll see my Facebook page has got loads of pictures of me just like in various places, just like barefoot, loving it. I actually walked barefoot in Pompeii.
Did you? Oh
Yes.
wow.
And the electric vibe that I got from that was incredible.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? Do you feel the energy within trees and plants? Can you feel that because you're an earth witch? Do you feel you're in contact with, obviously, with Mother Nature, obviously, but do you feel the energy within trees, within plants? Do you feel like that you've lived that life in a past life? Does that make sense?
I feel it's more of like a connection. Everything's living.
Yeah.
Everything's got a vein connected to each other. And I feel like I'm part of that. If I touch,
Right.
I can feel, yeah, you can
You
feel
just feel it.
you can feel the energy there. And I've actually recently done this experiment where I'll be close to a tree branch and I'll say, Mother Nature, stroke my face. And the tree will come in. I'll have to get that on video for all of you.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I know that's going around TikTok at the moment, where people stand just like under a tree with the branch, sort of about here, and they say, "Oh, tree, can you come down and touch me?"
Yeah.
And it seems bizarre, doesn't it? It seems totally bizarre, but you can see the tree coming down and touching them on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It happened.
That's interesting.
I remember, a year or so ago, about 18 months ago, Darren, bless him, he took us to Knoll Cemetery. I'd never been, and we were there with Justin, Paula, and William, and there was a grave of this little boy, and there was lots of trees around. It wasn't particularly windy, and we said, can you show us a sign that you're here? And I was videoing it, and it looks like that the branch comes down and touches his headstone. It's amazing.
Oh.
It could just be the wind. It could, but nothing else seemed to be very breezy. So
yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stuff that you wouldn't really sort of think about. You wouldn't sort of think, oh yeah, it can do that, it can do this, but it's quite amazing what nature can do.
Yeah, I think Margaret Charlton, I've been told that I am an empath. What does that mean? Who would?
Okay, who wants to take that? Shall I?
Yeah, go for it, Cindell. You go for it.
So an empath is when you're really, really like connected. You feel the energy of rooms, and you can walk in. It's just a weird vibe that you get,
So you can feel when other people are sad or happy.
Yeah.
You can sort of take on their feelings almost.
Yeah, it's like Jenny said, you can listen to people and take on, but at some stage you must get rid of that. What's the word? When somebody's just sort of giving you not a load, sort of talking to you, and you're going, yeah. But at some stage you've got to get rid of that, haven't you? Because it's carrying it baggage. You have to press Control-Delete at some stage to get rid of the trash.
Yeah.
So going through the years, obviously, quite the famous stories we all heard about, the Pendle witches and all of that. So, Cindell, who are the famous witches during history or whenever that have been English witches?
Right. So the English witches and executed, and why they were. There's Agnes Waterhouse. Now, she was accused of using a cat named Satan to kill people, bewitch livestock, and bring illness. She was the first executed under the Witchcraft Act of 1563.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, and she was hung.
All right.
Contrary to popular belief of the whole, burning at the stake, we had taste at least. Well, I can say taste at least. It weren't. It was terrible, but still, we didn't actually burn any witches at the stake.
Oh well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's just an American thing then.
Yeah, it's mainly an American thing. And believe it or not, there was only about 30 witches that were actually burnt at the stake. The rest were done by dunking and hanging and other brutal ways.
Wow.
It was just that particular thing stood out. So you've got Elizabeth Lowes as well. She was accused of causing death by witchcraft and harming livestock. She was one of the earliest victims as well under the Witchcraft Act, hanging. Ursa Kemp in Essex, accused of killing children and causing lameness throughout witchcraft. So basically, lameness, people would lose their ability to walk and stuff, I guess.
Oh wow.
Hung yet again.
Yeah.
There's so many. So Alice Nutter, you talking about Pendle witches?
Yeah.
Alice Nutter, Pendle, Lancashire. She was accused of attending a witch's Sabbath on Good Friday and conspiring to kill a man by magic. There was no proof. Obviously, it was just hearsay.
Yeah.
Probably some neighbor got jealous of her land or something, you know, after her husband
Yeah.
died. And I'm just speculating because a lot of it
Sure.
was just down to women being accused at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, she was actually killed, hanging.
So there's no real evidence of that they had committed these types of atrocities. It was just, was it done on hearsay? Oh, so and so said this, or so and so.
So I hate to be the one that says it, but back in the time when all of this killing of witches happened, and mainly a lot of them being women, men ruled, and it was men's say against women's,
Okay.
unfortunately. And it wasn't only that; it was King James I. He had a great deal of like bringing up the witchcraft and let's kill the witches, to the point of he actually wrote a book.
Okay.
And he killed a lot of people, a lot of women, unfortunately. But let's not talk about the
No.
horrible of all of that.
Let's talk about good witches.
What can I say? Like,
Yeah.
all over the place.
But you know, it you know, even modern day witches now, isn't it? You know, it's become more to the, it's not a taboo thing anymore, is it? You know, like being a paranormal investigator, you wouldn't want to tell anybody because they think, or a psychic or a medium or whatever you want to say, because you wouldn't say to someone 50 years ago, I can hear voices, people talking to me, and they're saying this about you, because people say there's something wrong with them because you're hearing voices. But do you find now, Cindell, now we're in the modern world and people accept witches and witchcraft and, you know, the paranormal as you do with your team, do you think people are more acceptable nowadays for that?
I think nowadays it's more of a, you know, a big skeptical, oh, look at me, I'm a witch. But you're not necessarily a witch. You're a witch by photographs or social media, you know. Oh, I posted this, I've done this. And when realistically it's not about that. It's a different level. It's a whole different level. And it does delve into the paranormal world as well. I don't go into a paranormal investigation without doing a cleansing and, you know, protection and all of this. Crystals are my main thing to go to. Like,
and do you carry them with you when you go on one of your paranormal investigations? Do you carry that into an investigation with you, or do you have a specific saying that you say before you go, that type of thing?
Depending on where I'm going, I have different crystals for different experiences. I normally take a pouch and I'll combine with a protection spell.
Sure.
And
you, sorry, go on.
I was going to say each one of my guys will also grasp hold of that, and they will have that protection.
Right. Okay. And is there? Do you go to? This is going to sound really not good. Do you go to a witch convention? do you understand what? I don't know how else to say it. Like a witch conference. I don't know how do you say? Do they have such things, or can you go along to that type of stuff?
So, like I say, I'm a lone witch, so I do a lot of my magic on my own.
Yeah,
I've had a few friends that have asked me to do spells, and I have been there with them whilst I've done them. But yeah, there's covens. There's especially at certain times on full moons and stuff, you meet in certain areas and
solstices.
It's one of those. I've been there, I've done it, I've been a part of a coven, but also I've been on my own, and it's hard to find.
Amy's put, I have protection spell pouch too, and I take it with me to any investigation I ever go to. So do you think that's a good thing to do, Cindell?
I do, but I also believe a lot in your protection pouch. You should also cleanse as well. So if you're not cleansing that pouch, it's only dragging with you the negative energy that is absorbed.
Right.
So
That's good.
you've got to cleanse it.
Someone's coming to get you, Paul. Someone's coming to get you.
Yeah, do you hear that?
Right.
No comment. No comment, Your Honour. I've been practicing. No comment, Your Honour. I've been practicing that. So do you find? Sorry. Oh, here's another one, Amy. Yes, I cleanse it in the moonlight.
Yeah.
And that's a good way. Christine's put hi all. Hi Christine, welcome to Monday night. We have Cindell as a modern day witch. Graham's put, do you use spells to cure yourself? And do potions work?
Right, okay. So let me just grab a book.
Yeah. It's fine. Take your time.
This book. Ancient Health Remedies Revealed.
Okay.
So any ailment that you have, any illness, yeah, exactly that, yeah. It has
Are they by the same people? They look very similar.
Yeah, it did, didn't they?
They probably are. It gives you like preparation spells, recipes, if you would, for different elements. And I live by this.
And you would recommend that to people that are watching tonight or watching on catch up? You'd recommend that book?
Oh, definitely. One of those kind of books. Like Angela's got one similar, and it's any ailment. It's in there, and you can fix. So my partner had a terrible cough for months. Terrible cough. Couldn't fix it with cough mixture, like antibiotics, nothing. And I said to him, right, I'm going to give you this drink. It's not going to taste nice. Just down it. He downed it for night time, and I said, you've got to do the same in the morning. He done the same in the morning. Come lunchtime, he hasn't got that cough anymore.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, that's the kind of thing that people are hiding.
Yeah. And do you think Mother Nature has a cure for everything, Cindell?
Not everything. No.
Right.
That's pushing the boundaries, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, for a lot of the things, I think we can understand it and take herbal remedies, mix it up, see what we can do. Yeah.
So you're quite happy to do that, and do you recommend it to your friends? Like, you should try this, you should try that. This could be good. That's not so good. Or do you get people say, "Oh, if I put that and that together, does that make this?" And you'll go, "Hang on a minute, that's not how it works." Do you get many inquiries like that about your potions and stuff?
So it's not more like, it's not as such like potions. It's more of like, oh, I've got this problem. How do I deal with it?
Right.
So say, for example, right, I'm not going to go into spells, like I said, but say, for example, you've got a persistent ex that will not leave you alone, and you're done with him or her, whoever they are. That is the time to do a freezer spell. Now, a freezer spell is simple. Look it up on Google. I'm not going to go into it. Look it up on Google. It's easy. You do a freezer spell. They should leave you alone. You want to do a money and wealth thing. There's a candle spell that you can do for money and wealth. There's all sorts of things that you can do.
I do follow Coven of Gaia on TikTok, and they've got some very simple spells, and they're quite interesting.
What's it called, Julia?
Coven of Gaia. Ask me how to spell it. Coven of Gaia, Gaia.
Right.
And that's on TikTok, and I've been following them for about 18 months or so now, and they've got some quite useful spells on there.
Oh yeah.
And would you recommend people doing that, Cindell, going up, looking it up and trying it? Would you recommend that? Or would you say proceed with caution? How would you give advice if somebody said, shall I look at Google? How would you give advice on that?
Of course, with everything, if you're going to try it, you're going to try it, aren't you? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
I just believe that you need to go ahead with clear intentions.
And good intentions as well.
And good intentions, yeah, exactly. So I'm a strong believer of whatever you give out or whatever spell you cast, you take it on yourself threefold.
Right.
And it is true. It's that witchy thing, and this is going more in depth, it's that threefold. By free.
Yeah.
We home, Roxy.
Who's that?
That's Lynn.
I was going to say.
Suddenly there's a laugh there. I'm thinking, sounded like a witch laugh, didn't it?
Right on cue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that kind of thing, you know. It's all good intentions. Don't put anything bad out there, because unless you know what you're doing.
Of course, yeah. You always have to proceed with caution, don't you, really?
Start small by candle spells, you know. Those kind of things. They're small. Yeah. Their intention is very, very focused. And if you focus as well. Also, one thing I will say is, before you master spells, you've got to master meditation. Unless you can get to that point of calm and your mind is completely isolated and it's disconnected from anything, you can't do a spell, because if you've got something in your head that is influencing that, it's gonna
have an effect.
Right. It's hard to.
No, that's fine, honestly. So what you're saying is you should always have intention and a clear mind on what you're going to do and why you're doing it. But if you have a million other things going around in your head, it's never a good time to be doing spells if you've got other things going on.
Oh, definitely. And what I would suggest is, also, before you cast that spell, look at yourself and see if there's nothing that you can't do within yourself to change that situation.
That's good advice.
You know, if there's something that's going on in your life that is negative, try and change that before you then cast that spell, because there's always going to be that grey thundercloud hanging over.
Dowsing rods, and a lot of people call them, hi Alan, a lot of people call them witch sticks. Do you believe that dowsing rods are to do with witches, or do you think it's more to do with like dowsing and using them? I use mine for the paranormal, but I did meet a lady once, a friend of a friend, and she insisted I bring my dowsing rods because she wanted to go with my witch sticks. Do you think that they are witch sticks, or do you think they are just dowsing rods?
That's a tough question.
She used them to ask questions, and they said yes or no, as they do, and she called them witch sticks.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard of the term witch sticks before. I've always known it as dowsing rods.
They can be used, like you say, for yes and no questions. They were also used a lot to find water sources and stuff, and ley lines. They're a good. So if you get a good dowsing rod, normally they're made of copper or iron, because they're a good source, and they can pick up magnetic fields.
Good conductors, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very good conductors, and I've had a brilliant response to a dowsing rod session at Mother Lovedham Cave, funnily enough, with another witch. And Yes, and we had a full-blown conversation of yes and no, and these rods were that it was a still night, no wind, and these rods were answering
Oh wow.
perfectly.
We took mine to Waverley Abbey, and
that's very close to where she lives.
Yeah, and we were trying to find the ley lines because we thought they could be in association with something else that we were looking into at the time, and I'd never used them to track down ley lines before, but I had my faith in them because they are my trusty ones.
Yeah.
And I was walking with Angela, and it picked them out, and then we got the map out, and they were literally spot on. They were amazing.
Exactly.
I thought, oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But they were literally even to the point of where the ley lines crossed or turned. Or, it was a bit of a while ago now.
Yeah.
They were really, really good. Really spot on.
And next time you go to one of these places, you use your trusty dowsing rods.
I should use them more. I know.
Try something in the sense of picking out 2 sticks off of a tree that look very, very similar.
They'll work.
And then you can use, and oh my god, the energy is so much more because they're from that area, and you can use it side by side. Use your normal dowsing rods with one person, and then these sticks with the other. And I'm not kidding you. Try it.
Never heard of that. Sounds interesting.
Maybe that's one for Waverley next time we go.
I know.
You'll have to tell me next time you go. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that work alongside like
I'll take you up to Mother Lofton.
Yeah,
never been
alongside like what we would call modern day equipment, like your dowsing rods. Be interested to see how they react using the tree, like Cindell's using the branches of the trees. How they would react the same.
Yeah.
Or is it because one's natural Mother Earth energy and the other one is energy conducted through the ground?
But if you think of it, if you're using an iron or copper dowsing rods, they're all from Mother Earth anyway because they're natural.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. So they're all mine.
They do have everything's connected, mate.
It is. You don't realise, do you? Till someone like yourself comes along and sort of starts to explain, you think, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, I didn't realise that. I think we just suddenly go along, don't we? Happy in our little bubble. And then when somebody comes along, interesting subject like you're telling us, you think, actually, that makes so much sense. Because there's a tree at Waverley that vibrates when you touch it.
There's the hanging tree.
Yeah.
So I have a history with that hanging tree.
All right.
I climbed up it. And
did you?
I got lost in it, and that's when my good friend James, part of the team that I was with, got scratched in the neck, and my teammate took a photo. So I jumped down. He was like, "Oh, I just got scratched." I jumped down, and I'm EMF detecting his neck, and it's going off the chart. She took a photo of us doing our investigation, and then you zoom in right into his shoulder where he got scratched on the neck, and you see 3 witch faces on this picture. And it is, hold on, I've got it.
That'd be interesting to see. Do you think Waverley would have had a coven of witches there at some stage of its time?
No.
Right.
I believe it's more to do with Mother Lofton, the witch side of things.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
Do you think she was a lone witch, or do you think there was others around?
Oh, yeah. She was definitely a lone witch. There's that whole story that goes, she used to give utensils and stuff. Like, you used to go to her, ask her to lend you something, and she used to give you anything that like you'd ask for, under the premise that 3 days later you'd return it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the town were just like, yeah, we'll do that, we're cool. And then all of a sudden this guy comes and asks for her cauldron. she's like, oh, I don't really want to give it up, but still gives it up, and he don't return it, and it turns out it's the devil in disguise.
Oh wow.
So she has a massive chase with him. It's looking to Mother Lovedon, Waverley Abbey, Cauldron. There's a whole story. That's where the devil jumps, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Come into it, and it's apparently where he jumped with her cauldron and made indentations as he jumped.
Oh,
And
wow.
she chased after him, got the cauldron, and then hid it in the church. And then apparently, because it's a sacred ground, the devil can't go into. And apparently the cauldron's lived there ever since.
Oh
So
wow.
I
That's
don't know if you can see that.
Not really.
No. It looks a bit like the people from that pop band Kiss. To me, sorry.
Try and send it to Andrew and see if we can get it on the bigger screen.
yeah.
Yeah, send it to Andrew and see if we can get it on the bigger
that
screen.
might be a bit easier.
That'd be interesting to see.
I am old. It's my eyes.
We're all old, I'm afraid. We're all getting that way, aren't we?
Right, let's see if I can do this. Hold on. But yeah, it was like, wow, okay, that's
Do you go much or have much association with Burley in the New Forest? Because that's supposedly a witch's village, isn't it? Do you have much to do with that?
I have a lot of association, yes. So I go there every year for a festival.
Oh yeah, I met you there once, didn't I?
Yeah,
I missed
you
you. Yeah.
It's a fairy festival, but it's absolutely amazing, and
it's very, very good. If you've never been before, obviously Burley's in the New Forest in Hampshire, beautiful little village. You know, it's stunning, and they have once a year there, isn't it? They have a festival called the Fairy Fest, so they have live music, and everybody dresses up with something to do with trees and all to do with Mother Earth. And we took the grandchildren there once, and they had a fantastic time. It's a really, really good place. If you go, you'll see Cindell there. She won't look the same. She'll be all dressed up. It's very hard to recognise, but it's a great, great day out. Live music, don't they? Have food and it's great stuff.
So, yeah, there you go. There's that.
Oh, that's better.
If you zoom in, you can see faces clearly, like
above him. Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's like it was mainly that middle face, and I was like, oh my god. But if you zoom in, you can see like 3 other faces.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a great capture, isn't it? And do you think that they were witches that were executed there? They were there. What would be their reasoning to be there, do you think?
I don't know. I think it's more, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? That tree is just like, so I'm a believer in, so it's a yew tree. Yew tree is very, very powerful in witches.
Okay.
You ask any witch, they want it made out of yew.
Oh, okay.
It is so powerful. You, me?
To you, to me, to me.
Is that why the churches would put yew trees in the graveyards as a protector for churches? Because they say that if you find a church or a graveyard, it's always got a yew tree in it.
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
think I read somewhere that they used to use the yew tree, like Cindell was saying, as a form of protection because it was a very powerful tree, and that's why you find them in graveyards. So whether that's true or not, I'm sure I read that somewhere that they used to build the church, especially around a yew tree or a graveyard, as to add that added part of protection for the village and all of that. Hi, Alan. Have you ever been to the yew tree at Knowlton Church?
Don't think I have.
No. Tell us a bit about that, Alan.
No, that's Noel, isn't it? I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Yeah.
That was Knowlton, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I'm just getting muddled.
But the Fairy Fest is brilliant, isn't it, Cindell? It's such a great for kids. They love it, don't they?
It's great for everybody. It's
It is true, yeah. We had a
Yeah.
great time there. We really enjoyed it. And the girls loved it, the live music, and they were having their pictures taken with all of these people in absolutely fantastic dresses and makeup and incredible. People really, really make an effort, don't they, Cindell, to be just incredible, absolutely incredible. So if you're ever free, go down there and ask for Cindell. She'll be there somewhere.
I should send Angela a picture of my my fairy costume, shouldn't I? Really quickly.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, we need to see you in your costume.
You need to see it.
It is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Okay, let's do this. So that is, and she's called Mona.
Mona. Incredible, Andrew, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just got them.
Can I go and have a coffee? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
That's a pain in the arse, isn't it? But I need a coffee.
There you go. There's Cindell's dress. So if you zoom in,
My beautiful wings.
The wings and the headdress. The headdress are all out of flowers. They're really incredible things to watch, to see. If you've ever been to one, it's well worth going. The music's really good. The costumes are all like that, just incredible. And because I never recognised Cindell when I was there, and she knew I was there, and I knew she was there, but I never crossed paths with her.
Oh.
I just didn't recognise her. I must have gone past her. Alan's put Knowlton Church and Earthworks near Wimborne in Dorset. Visitors go there all the time and leave wishes and notes tied to the branches. Oh, wow. We're down that area this weekend coming, aren't we?
Yeah, we're there Saturday.
We're down there, that area, so that would be interesting to arrive early and see if we can find a tree.
Is it quite near Merley, Alan? Do you know?
Obviously, Merley's our next investigation coming up this Saturday with Paranormal. There's still a few tickets. Hooray! So there's still a few tickets left. So I highly recommend going there. We've had some good reports about the house, and so we're all super, super excited to go with Paranormal. So go onto the website. What is it, Julia? Paranormal.com?
Paranormal.co.uk.
There you go. So get on there, look on the website. There's loads of venues coming up. So get your tickets, come and see us at Merley, introduce yourself and have a chat with us. Alan's put it's not far from Merley. So that might be interesting to get there a bit early and try and find the tree. It'd be interesting to have a picture taken there, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So obviously Cindell's gone to get a drink because she's very, very nervous. Me and Angela had to calm her down before she came on. She's so very nervous, but bless her, she's so interesting. And I find, having witches and they're all part of our modern day society, aren't they now, really? Same as Wiccan and all of that type of stuff. We all see it coming. So she was very, very nervous to come on here. So she's done brilliantly, I think. Absolutely brilliantly.
My ears were burning.
Burley Fairy Fest this year is 9th and 10th of August.
9th and 10th of August is the Burley Fairy Fest.
I'll be there on the 9th.
Yeah.
So go and see Cindell in her beautiful wings and her dress. You won't recognise her. She'll look completely different. And the dress is fantastic, honestly. It sounds like what's at St. Nectan's Glen. Nectan's Glen.
Where's that, Graham? Whereabouts is that?
Cornwall, isn't it?
Where?
Is it?
Cornwall.
Cornwall.
So, if you go there, it's there's wands and all sorts of things for sale, isn't there, Cindell? And it's just incredible, absolutely incredible energy, and the music playing. And
shall I show you some ones that I made?
Yeah, go on then.
Oh
That'd be interesting.
You've got to mention the crystal shops.
Yeah, the crystal shops there and all sorts.
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
So if you're ever in that area and around that time, get in there. It's worth going to have a look. And if you see Cindell, you can always stop these people and have your picture taken with them. And children love it, don't they, Cindell? They love it.
I love kids.
Yeah, it's so lovely to see, and you have like really tall people, really short people, and people all different sizes. In people dress up like I don't know, I can't remember, dragons and all sorts.
You even have dogs with fairy wings on.
Yes, that's right. And it is all about being in connection with Mother Earth, walking to Mother Earth. It's it's to me, it's like you're saying thank you, for that Mother Earth for that year. Hi, Debbie. Welcome.
Debbie.
So it's really, really good. So Cindell, do you still practice now, or is it sort of a bit of a sort of step back a little bit because you now run your own paranormal group? Pit, great name, Pit.
Yeah, the Pit, the Paranormal Investigation Team. It says it all. No, I don't really take a step back because I still that's my number one. I'm a witch at heart.
Yeah.
It comes second nature to me. Like,
Okay.
I manifest all the time.
When Debbie's put, I connected to Mother Earth through my gardening. I do. So yeah.
Yep, you can.
Do you, as a child, you say that your mum and your nan were practicing. Did you feel as a child or as you're growing up that you were different to other children? Like, if you're a medium psychic growing up, you always feel you're slightly different to other people around you, don't you? Did you ever feel that as being like going into like a third generation witch?
I didn't know so much because it was normal in our household, It was
right.
You talk about it, that like paranormal and stuff, it was all part of it. There was so much that went on and we just talked about it as kids and it was normal. It weren't until you grew up and you went, oh, actually, that isn't normal. Like, there's a kid shouldn't have an imaginary friend that is just basically a human and all of this and those kind of things. And then it was more like the understanding of nature,
right?
Like, instead of picking a flower, I would always appreciate one,
Oh, okay, yeah. So you appreciate anything that you're surrounded by. Alan's put, I forgot to say, I live with two witches, Mrs. Infinity and a daughter Infinity.
That doesn't count.
I bet you ain't told her that though, Alan, have you? You just wrote it on here. If you watch it catch up, I think you might be in trouble there, mate.
Yeah, you might be cooking your own dinner for the rest of the week.
So, Cindell, tell us a bit about your paranormal group, Pits. Tell us a bit about that. How did you found that? Hi, Tanya. Welcome.
So, I just decided to go at it on my own. I thought I just needed a break, needed something of my own, and decided to create a team. And I was lucky enough to have some of the amazing people come join me. And yeah, it's been a bit relaxed. We're not too on it in the sense of videos, and that's bad. That's my fault. But
Alan said she told me to put it in. So, do you investigate during the week, or you mainly weekenders, like most of us on here?
It's weekenders mainly when we can.
Yeah,
we've all got busy lives. Understand that. And a team of 5 people, it's hard to get everybody all together at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been a few investigations where it's been like 2 off the pit, 3 off the pit. It's you just take it as you can, don't you?
So if you're out on a paranormal investigation, sort of stepping a little bit away from witches to give you a little bit of a break there. So if you're in a paranormal investigation, what is your go-to piece of equipment? What do you believe is the true thing that gives you what you're looking for?
Oh, going back to the witchy kind of thing.
Yeah.
My own personal self, my own body, my own body. Your body is the best tool when it comes to investigating. The second to that, I say voice recorders. Get yourself a good voice recorder. That you've got to look at the specs of a voice recorder and see how far it dips in like decibels
Yeah.
and hertz
Yeah.
and frequency, because
Yeah.
we with our ears only hear a certain amount, and if you get a voice recorder that goes above and below our frequency, even better, because then you can. I have had so many good recordings on my voice recorder that we've been running side by side with a friend's voice recorder in my team. They haven't picked it up, but I have.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's like,
interesting, isn't it?
you've got to look at the specs. It's all about the hertz and the decibels and the frequency. It's, it's...
Yeah, there's a lot to it, isn't it?
Oh, there is a lot to it. You can't just go
Because
in.
I remember when we did the Devices Town Hall with Paranation that time, and we went round the house and we had bits and pieces going on around the house, and then we sort of met up with Cindell and her group on the staircase. How we ended up at the staircase, I don't know, but that was the most intense hour that we had as a group there. It's incredible, wasn't it, Cindell?
So my night started off with Julia doing her talk and everything, introduction, and then going, go at it, guys. And I got halfway up the first landing, like the first set of stairs, when I heard a woman in my ear go, stay here. And I was like, whoa. And I said to Mark at the time, I said, that's it. And do you know what? We moved a little bit from the staircase, but I always went back to that staircase.
Yeah, it was very strange how we all ended up there, didn't we? And we heard there's so much going on, wasn't there?
We heard, there was crazy amount of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You got touched.
Yeah, I got my shirt tugged behind me, didn't I, by the door? Yeah. And then we called out for the town cry, didn't he? He was going, oh yay, oh yay.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know what we heard, but we heard a response to that. And it wasn't on the recording, we heard it, all of us. Because we all looked at each other and went, did you hear? What was that? And that, that was a real good night, as I say, with Paranation on the Devices Town Hall. I really enjoyed the most activity we had was really on that staircase. It was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. Yeah. It was just saying I had the coke board. I rarely hear anything I record at the time. When I play it back. That's right, Graham. A lot of times we don't always hear a direct, what they call a DVP, a direct response. I often call out, and I've done it before when we went to the old police station in Petersfield, Julie. Remember with the whistle?
Oh, yes, I remember that one.
The most incredible whistle I'd ever heard. And I didn't hear it at the time. I thought I heard something because there was myself, my partner Jenny, and Dora. I think we were sitting in, I think it was a library then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a library, wasn't it? It was like a library. Then there was another room. Then there was the break room, which is like the cafe area.
Yeah.
And I remember you coming back and saying, Julia, listen to this. And I was like, oh, so jealous. And I thought, I want that. Being quite competitive. I was like, I want that. I want that on my recording as well. I want to record it. And so later on, I went in there with, I think it was Gemma and Ian, and I was recording everything, and as clear as day, we heard it with our ears, not on the recorder, we heard it with our ears, this whistle, and I thought, I've got it. I have got it now. I've got it. So I was chuffed to bits to also have a copy of the whistle.
But sometimes, and we all done the paranormal investigation, sometimes you get one bit of evidence and you think, I can go home now because I know what I've got.
Yeah.
And
that
big smile on your face.
Yeah. And 100% that is solid evidence. There's no sort of interference or anything. That is 100% what you've caught. And yeah, it's just you know, it makes the day, doesn't it? It makes the night. And even
Yeah.
if you get like one of those in every 4 or 5 months, that's what we do, isn't it? That's what we go out to do.
That's why we do it, isn't it?
I've been quite lucky, really, to be fair with you, in the paranormal. Like, there's been the Manor Farm incident where I caught that picture.
Oh, that ghost lady with the
my God, that goes down like in wow.
That's up there at the top as well.
That's
that one
there. And then I was helping out not long ago with Paranation. Julia asked me, can I help with Shepton Mallet? So I'd done a bit of hosting for her. And me and Ryan, one of my team members, were on our own at the time at it was the governor's office, and he played that footage, didn't he? And we were mocking the governor, going, "Oh yeah, he's a pussy," you know, whatever. And then as we fell silent, you hear a and it was caught on his and I was like, oh my God. I looked at him, I was like, did you hear that? Because there's been so many things, and it's like, wow.
And it's like, I think when me and Luke, we were at the Grounded Theatre, Luke, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah.
We were sitting on the stage. Do you want to tell them what happened?
Was the whistle? Was it whistle?
Yeah, do you remember the whistle?
Yeah, the whistle, yeah.
Because we were sitting on the stage, like, and Luke's REM pod was behind us, quite a way behind us as well. And it kept going beep, 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 wasn't it, all the time? We couldn't work out. So we moved it to a different position in case there was something affecting it. It was under the stage, wasn't it, Luke? We moved along the stage. We moved back down the stage. We sat on the floor. We did all sorts of things to try and debunk whether there was an electrical that the REM pod that was picking up. We couldn't really fault it, could we? It was working well.
Yeah.
And it was very, very quiet. A lot of people were outside having coffee, a drink. And myself and Luke, I can't remember who else was there. We were sitting on the stage, and I said, I wonder what'll happen, because just as you're looking out, there's like a box up on the right-hand side. Whether it's where the projectionist is, I don't know. And we kept seeing Ground is an awesome, great place.
Yeah.
Ground is an awesome and always very active. It was. And myself and Luke kept looking up at this like room, and we're thinking, it looks like someone is walking backwards and forwards in the room, but we couldn't really see. It was that dark. Do you remember, Luke?
Yeah,
and so yeah. And I said, "Oh, we'll whistle and see if we get anything back." So I was like, and we sat there and we heard came straight back, didn't it, Luke? I looked at Luke and he looked at me and went, "Where does that come from?" And it was exactly a return the same. And I'm looking, thinking, well, there's nobody out there. Did it come from the box, or was it outside the door? And we never did find out where it come from. I'm sure it wasn't somebody playing a trick, because it was very distant, wasn't it, Luke? But we heard it.
Yeah.
So it was direct hearing with our own ears. And you think, could it have been someone? You've obviously always got to be careful, because someone could be outside the doors, somebody could be upstairs, or hear it from another room. So sometimes when you whistle, you've got to be a little bit careful, haven't you? Because you go, and somebody down the corridor go, whistle back. Tanya's put, it's the projection room. Yeah, pre-COVID, you could go in there. Oh, okay. But me and Luke thought we kept seeing, couldn't tell you it was a man, a woman, but we saw this black shadow, like a mass, going backwards and forth, like someone was pacing in there, and we couldn't really. Even when we even I'm forgetting my words there. Shone the laser grid up in the box, and even that didn't catch it. But by eye, we could see this what looked like, I don't know, like, wasn't it someone pacing up and down?
Yeah, it was.
So whether the whistle came from that box or it came from further afield, I don't actually know. But I looked at Luke, and he looked at me and went, "Did you just hear that?" And that's without the recorder. So that sort of made my night. You know, you hear a direct response to it, and, you know, you try and debunk it. Is there someone there? You know, is it someone having a bit of muck about? It sometimes happens. I thought you wanted me to whistle back. That type of, you know, so it's difficult when you whistle, But as we say in the old police station, they were direct responses to the question, "Can you whistle?" You think, what? No way. And then Julia went back in there and she got it. And I think a third group went in there and they got the same whistle. So you have 3 different groups, 3 different people with a similar sort of whistle, wasn't it?
It was a good place.
So here's a question for everybody. Like me, myself, I've been affected physically in 2 places. One was Oxford Castle, where I lasted half an hour and I had to tap out. That was the worst. And the other one was Shaw House.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, both of those accounts, after having multiple witnesses of me feeling unwell and witnesses of me leaving that place and being absolutely fine, then finding out that actually that's one of the claims.
Yeah.
My question to all of you and our viewers that are watching, have you been affected in a place like that? Where has it been and what's happened?
I think I was infected at Oxford Castle. I had Alan said to me, he goes, you look a bit, sort of like, he goes, you should be all sort of like, he goes, oh, you should all be sort of like all like smiley and happy and everything. I said, oh, yeah, I'll try and be. And I was sort of like having these real sort of like crushing like chest pains and they just like seem to like go. And I'm like, oh, that's really weird. But when you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, is this
just me?
not good? But I just like moved to a different area and it just sort of like went. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe it has something to do with this. I have been scratched and I've been punched on a couple of ghost hunts.
Okay.
So that's probably about as violent as they've been towards me.
Yeah, that's quite violent.
So do you think the crushing pains would have been how someone would have died in that area, Julia? Do you think?
It could have been. Could have been.
Debbie's put, I've been affected at Marwell Zoo and my head hurts.
Do you used to be able to like hire out a Marwell house at Marwell Zoo?
Yeah.
But they stopped that. I really desperately wanted to get in there, but they seemed to stop it after I wanted, before I wanted to hire it. But yeah, I was really at the point of going, and they just decided to stop. I also contacted Manor Farm again, and again it's a no. So sadly, they're not allowing anyone to hire in the evenings. So
that's a shame, isn't it? It's a great location. What was that
Yeah.
last question, Angela? Something about Tanya's put Dorchester kept. I felt like I was on fire on the 3rd floor. Oh wow! So, do you think what you're feeling is from the question for you, Cindell? Really, do you think what you felt in Oxford Castle was either from a previous life, or do you think you were feeling how someone felt at that time? You had taken on their mannerisms, their pain, their anguish, their whatever.
In both times, in Oxford Castle and at the house there, Shaw House, both times I was overcome with emotions that weren't mine and that was somebody else's. And I knew at the time that it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And as soon as I left the place, absolutely fine. Julia saw it several times going outside and inside. As soon as I got in the building, I looked as white as a ghost, like green, like I was going to trick up. As soon as I got outside, absolutely fine. Go back in. And so I think in those incidences, it's me being the type of person that I am, and they know that they can connect, and it's latching on.
Yeah.
I was just concerned for your welfare, really.
Yeah.
I was concerned for my welfare.
I was just like water, a plain biscuit, try and find a plain biscuit just to try and, maybe settle your tummy if
it was so weird. I've never felt that. But also at Shaw House, it was well weird. We were at the top of the house in like the 3rd floor, and it was in the attic, and So we found out later, after talking to one of the hosts, like the people that work there, that room, staff don't like to go in alone because it's where supposedly a woman had been found hung. She'd hung herself. And I got in there and I was not myself. I was just like all over the place, like walked out. I got up and I was like, I can't walk. I had no use of my legs. I was all jelly like walking down the like corridor to the point of it took 2 of my team members carrying me down in a rush. Like, what the heck is happening right now? Like, we don't know. Got down. As soon as we were in like the general area where everybody sat, I was absolutely fine. And I was like, well, that was the weirdest experience I've ever had. And then spoke to the people and they were like, oh yeah, this is, yeah, people feel that. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just sensitive to a lot of the emotions that go on in a place.
Yeah.
So
and what's your advice if someone starts to feel like you are, say they're a new person or they can't understand what's going, so what would be your advice to that person?
depending on how you think you can handle it, always tap out. You'll always be the stronger person to walk out the room. Like I've faced many demons on ghost hunts, and there's only been several places that I've gone, yeah, I've got to tap out. Shepton Mallet was strange. Like I say, if you go to somewhere like a prison, don't expect it to be all plain sailing because they're nasty people that were there. They don't care who you are. They're going to mess with you. And the more of a scare factor they get, jump.
The more energy you're producing, isn't it? Jen drew this picture of, I don't know if you can see it. That was from Oxford Castle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Okay, I didn't see that one.
So that was the one Jen was sitting there drawing. She can tell you a little bit about it because it's actually changed.
Yeah.
The drawing's actually changed.
It started off as a woman, and it just, no matter how much I tried, it would not let me change the features. And however many times I rubbed it out, it went back to a man. Because I felt I wanted to draw a woman, but he wouldn't let me.
He wouldn't let you with the lips as well. Was it something about the lips? He just wouldn't.
Yeah, no, it was the shape of the face.
This area.
The whole shape of the face, and possibly the lips, because I kept rubbing that bit out. Anyway, when I got home, I started to do a little bit more to it, and then it just turned completely different, didn't it?
Yeah. So it's interesting, like Cindell said, there's no embarrassment in tapping out. If you feel unwell during an investigation, obviously come to someone in the team, a team member, say that you're feeling quite unwell. It's no embarrassment in tapping out and going out for fresh air. We do it.
And also, I will also advise as well, any good paranormal team, event team, will have the facilities there that if you don't feel safe, will give you a cleansing after. Even if they themselves can't, they will have somebody
that can.
Yeah. So don't feel ashamed to go, right.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Be me. There'd be
your Cindell and you.
Yeah.
So they could always go to either of you if they feel something's not quite right. You get a sense of feeling. So if you're on an investigation, there's always, like Cindell was saying, there's always somebody there that can help you, and get the feeling. But don't be embarrassed to tap out because, as investigators ourselves, you think, I need to get some fresh air.
The other advice I would give as well is I find on an investigation, people speak up too late in an investigation. Like you're calling out, you're asking the spirit to touch you, to do this, to do that. A lot of people will brush off a feel instead of going, oh, I think and then that's where the focus can then be. Don't feel ashamed to say what you're feeling at the time.
Yeah.
We're almost nuts as each other because let's face it.
Yeah. Why are we there?
We're chasing spirits and ghosts.
We're all looking for the same thing, aren't we?
Exactly. So don't feel ashamed to speak up.
And that's why I say, and when any investigation, there's never a stupid question. If somebody says, "Oh, that's a stupid question," I won't say that. You need to speak up because there isn't ever a question that we say, "Oh, that's a bit naughty," or that's, because sometimes you say a question, but it's relevant to what's going on in that time.
Yeah.
You may not think it, but it could be a question. It's like if you do, and we've had this discussion before, like you do the circle, and have someone in the middle, human pendulum. Someone in the middle starts to move, so someone around that circle has got a question, but they don't want to say it. And we've been there, like Julia and Angela, we've all been there, and you've got your yes and no answers, and it's going like backwards and forwards. Someone's got a question. Don't be afraid to ask the question because it's not a silly question. It's just a spirit of trying to answer that question before you've said it. They know what you're going to say, so you can't stand there and think, "Oh, that's embarrassing," because it's not. We've all been there. We've all started from the beginning.
If something comes in your head, just say it. No matter how obscure it seems, just say it.
Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, on Devices, we took a little walk and we got up to the top of the staircase. And I turned around to Mark. I was holding on to the top of the staircase, overlooking the whole stairs. And I went, "Oh my God." And I was just like, pull me away because I feel like I'm going to launch myself over there, but not by purpose. Like somebody's launching me. And then it turned out to be something along the lines of a woman. At the same time, Julia was in the main ballroom, which we walked into halfway through your seance, which you were getting like the horrible
it was incredible
word. And I
said, absolutely incredible. And we heard, we saw, this curtain night swish out. They were like floor to ceiling curtains.
Yeah.
We heard a woman scream. Oh, it was just,
I stood in the mirror and I actually said, I went, "Oh my God, my whole insides feel like they're just being
because it was a mirror at one end and a mirror at the other end, identical mirrors, which would create a portal, couldn't it?
Portal.
Yeah.
So you don't do that, do you? You don't place mirror.
No.
Opposite a mirror.
Opposite a mirror.
Because it opens the portal. It's infinity, isn't it? Because you can see forever.
I know when we went to the RAM, there was so many mirrors. Everywhere we went at the RAM, there was a mirror facing a mirror, wasn't there? Do you remember? Loads and loads and loads of mirrors. But when I went last time, there was they'd like moved a lot of the mirrors, so they wasn't like mirror facing a mirror or anything like that. So it's all right. My daughter's trying to make me light. She thinks I'm sitting in the dark. I like the dark. Honestly, I like the dark. No, that's
just go strumming in the dark.
No, it's too bright. Turn it off. I'm supposed to be resting.
Anyway, any more questions for Cindell, or any more questions in general?
Hang on, there were lots of comments that I've missed because it moved on. Right, where are we?
I'll just say, Cindell, Graham's I've bought a book in Tintagel called The Witch's Journal, which is very interesting. We'll be taking a good look at it now after this chat. Brilliant.
Oh, do you know what?
There you go.
Do you know what? I've got the same book.
What, The Witch's
This one?
Yeah, I think
How weird is that?
Yeah.
We know a lot of witches then.
It's surprising when you open that Pandora's box. It's surprising.
Isn't it just? All I could say, Cindell, I know you were really, really nervous before you came on, but you've done brilliantly tonight. Absolutely, really, really interesting. So well done,
really
you.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I loved it. Tanya's put, or is it normal pagan faith is the oldest religion. Medicine woman were just kitchen witches or green witches, etc.
And voila, there you have your answer. So yeah, a lot of these old witches were literally just people who knew how to do things in the kitchen with herbs and
Yeah. Debbie's put, my grandmother taught me about gardening and my dad's father taught me about nature. So it goes sort of hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Again, like you say, to be earthbound. Graham's put, when I went to Oystermouth Castle in Wales, I recorded some running footsteps that came from a distance and got louder and nearer it got to me. I've never heard it and I was totally by myself. So that was recorded, Graham, was it? But I think, like Cindell was saying earlier, you know, sometimes it pays to look into the equipment you're going to buy. Does it serve the purpose that I'm going to use it for? Myself, I use what they call a Philips voice tracer, and I've always had brilliant results with it. And I had the VP10 before, Panasonic VP10. So well done, Cindell, for coming on. Brilliant. See, people love you. There you go. There's 3 mirrors facing each other at Merley. I'll tell you about what happened on that Saturday. Infinity Paranormal.
Exciting.
Thank you for coming in, guys. Yes, we're all excited. Are you there, Cindell, this one?
No, not this one. I'm at a family do, unfortunately.
So you could have met our very own 3rd generation witch Cindell if you were there. But I'm sure she'll be in other investigations with Paranation. So come and introduce yourself to her. But absolutely, on behalf of us all, well done you. Absolutely brilliant. You've done so well.
Well done.
For being so nervous, you did brilliantly. Really interesting.
Like I say, if anybody needs any advice, I'm here. You know.
And do you have a website for your paranormal group or how people can get in touch with you?
So I've got a Facebook page for the pit. Otherwise, it's just myself if you want to get in contact, like for witchy stuff. So yeah.
There you go. So if you're not sure or you want to ask Cindell some more questions, and she'll be more than happy to help and answer your questions for you. Obviously, you know, she'll do her best, but we all work and we all have our jobs. So if you leave a message, she'll always get back to you. So if you're not sure about something or you want to know a bit about the Fairy Fest in Burley, Cindell is there. So contact Cindell. She'll help you, tell you where it is and what you need to do and how to dress up and see Cindell with her beautiful wings. So if we have no more questions, I just want to say, as I say, a big thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Cindell. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well done, you, from all of us.
Cheers,
well
guys.
done, everybody, for your questions. It's been an interesting in comments tonight. It's been an interesting night. I've loved it. I really enjoyed it and learned lots. You know, so hopefully we'll meet Cindell soon on an investigation with her team. So you can contact her if you have any queries with anything or witchy, you want to find out a little bit about witches and things, please contact her. I'm sure she'll help you do the best she can and advise you and give you the best route and the safety side of it all, so you're all safe and sound. So it only remains for me to say, Luke, are you still there in the dark?
No, I'm still there, yeah.
All right. What about your witchy mum? Is she still there?
Yeah, still there, yeah.
So it only remains for me to say, myself and Jenny, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and been a very, very interesting night. Stay safe this week and thank you so much for your comments, and we enjoy reading them out and people's opinions. So once again, a big thank you to our guest speaker, Cindell. Have a safe week and we'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye.